You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah!
All right, good morning, everybody. This is Friday morning's edition of Ask the Master Auto Technician. I have Hansson Hindenburg from Baytown Tires, your Tire Pros expert, right there on the corner of St. Andrews, right there on the curve of St. Andrews on Business 98. How are we doing this morning, Hansson?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Doing very, very well. Tell me about what's going on in the tire industry this week. Anything sticking out that catches your attention that people need to know about?
Yeah, I mean, things stay the same as they change all the time.
Okay, that's an oxymoron. Things change as well as they stay the same. All right, go ahead.
That's right.
All right.
The industry is always moving forward. We talk about it almost every week, is that they're coming up with better ways to make a tire. And people always ask me, how come tires aren't becoming less expensive? And, consolidation in our business is always, and people that don't know about the business where consolidation means that, tire companies are kind of buying each other up to make the supply chain a little bit more limited so they can control the prices.
I did not know that. So the tire companies are buying each other up, kind of like the news media have done. I think right now we only have 5 news media sources, where before we had like 20 or 30, and you're saying the same thing's happening when it comes to tire companies.
You basically have, large players in the United States. There's about 4 or 5 of them, and they control pretty much all of the names that you wind up buying at the stores, private labels. And any of the major brands, too, are usually owned by one of the bigger companies.
And there's like, how many companies are there? Maybe 5 or 6 major companies?
5 or 6 major companies that make up the tire industry association, which are the big players, and they control basically everything. China is big, and there are a lot of manufacturers in China, but our government has put a tariff on the tires from China, so the tires from China have gotten less and less really over the years.
Less and less tires from China are being sold here in the United States. And you said a lot of the tires are now made in America. They're maybe like Kumo or Toyo. They're made here in America. Am I correct on saying that?
Right.
Even though they're Japanese companies?
We've said it before, is that, these foreign players that we think are like, in Indonesia or somewhere, are really here in the United States. They've built more plants, like you said, Kumo, Sumitomo, Yokohama, all these guys really have built more plants than some of the other, you think of America, like Goodyear or Michelin, or those guys have really tried to get in the game in making tires in the United States. Because of tariffs and shipping expenses and all that, they can really make a tire for sometimes as much as they can make it in China and have it shipped over here. Okay,
it's the same. I was talking to Brian Armstead earlier, and he was talking how the Honda CR-V, it's a Honda. You say it must be made overseas. No, it's made here in America. There's 3 plants it's being made in, 2 in the United States, 1 in Canada. Is where the CR-V is being made, even though it's a Japanese company, but the CR-V is being made over here in America. And you're saying the same thing takes place with tires.
That's funny. I was talking about the CR-V. I've owned several CR-Vs over the year, and they used to be made in Japan, but now they're made primarily in the United States, what we see. And the same with talking yesterday again about Toyota trucks. They're made in Texas, where a lot of the Chevy trucks are made in Mexico.
Yes, that is. And that's due to NAFTA, I believe.
Yes, and NAFTA is one of those unfortunate things that I believe, hurt some of even the tire industry. For a while, a lot of tires were made in Mexico. But the quality does not seem to be there. And some manufacturers say, hey, it's easier for us to control products in the United States because we know it's going to be a certain quality.
And it's going to be, I guess it'll be a certain quality, I guess. I do know when NAFTA came through, I ended up getting a lot of inferior car products that seemed to be repackaged. They looked like good packages they came in, but I think they spent more designing the boxes than they did the parts. It seemed like there for a while.
You're absolutely right. And, a lot of the rebuilt parts that we get, starters and alternators, which I try to strive away from now because you can buy new ones.
Brand spanking new,
are rebuilt in Mexico. That's not saying anything bad about Mexico, but they're just not as high a standard in the finished product as it should be.
And that's true. The North American Free Trade NAFTA, which came through, 26 years ago.
Our good buddy Bill Clinton helped us.
That giant sucking sound, and a lot of people right now, it's also helped hurt Florida's produce industry. I think most of the, maybe I'm wrong, but please correct me if I am, most of our industry, we're not a citrus industry anymore. Florida's not. Most of that's going away, and we seem to be buying a lot of our produce from other countries like South America, Mexico, and that's what seems to be on our shelves. And when my wife goes to grocery store shopping, do you see a lot of fruit from Florida when you go, Anne-Marie?
It's very seasonal, but countries in South America, Chile, Brazil, Peru, seeing a lot more fruit come up from
yeah,
there.
and it's great for them, and I guess it's great for the pocketbooks of Americans, but it's not great for the American farmer. They seem to be in competition with the ones over, and a lot of them just gone out of business. And I guess the same thing has happened in other industries as well in America, where they've just shut down. I think Hershey's chocolates going from Pennsylvania to Mexico. I think that's where they're moving to. So, there's a lot of things happening out there.
Well, and it's always politics, and again, everything you buy is basically politically controlled. And when you ran your campaign, you were kind of going against that control of all the industries.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. I think that we have too much control from the government. And
too much
people
regulation.
are like, well, there should be a standard. A lot of industries are very good in bringing you the open market controls the product, not only the price, but also the quality. So I think government regulation a lot of times actually steers it in the opposite direction that we want to go in.
It does. It seems to discourage the free market. Right now I think we're going to be having December 6th. After this show will go after December 6th, we're having a workshop at the government building on 11th Street to bring in Uber into Bay County. There's a lot of people resisting it, especially that are in competing industries such as taxi cab companies and shuttle companies. They don't want Uber moving in because it would actually, well, get this, there's actually laws in the books out there that says that the people that are in competition need to decide whether there's room for other businesses to come in. They don't want too much competition coming in. I was reading about that.
So you're saying, like in our industry, the government, county, or the city, depends on, could come in and say, no, there's already enough auto repair shops.
We need to have a study. You need to pay a fee for us to do a study and talk to these other industries other people in your industry to allow, is there room enough for you to come in? And the way I look at it, that discourages the free market and competition and encourages cronyism and encourages the lack of free choice. And that's what I'm seeing happening in the Uber industry out here. The same thing. They've got the laws in place right now that makes it beneficial for taxi cab companies to come in and pay the money and charge you, of course, a lot more money to go in a taxi cab company, where the Uber platform is completely different. It's ride sharing. There's no money exchanging hands. It's all by using, and to me, I think it's more secure and better than riding a taxi, but there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do that. Any thoughts on your part?
I've always been for competition, even in our industry.
Absolutely.
It makes us better.
It makes us, I wish
It keeps us on our toes, making sure that our process is good, that we bring the best product to market, and that we stay competitive.
Absolutely. Now, when your wife goes to buy shoes, I know Melanie buys shoes every so often. Okay, when she goes to buy shoes, doesn't she go where there's lots of shoe shops? I mean, where she can go to several shoe shops, and not just one, but let me say the mall or Pier Park or someplace like that. And all the shoe shops are together. I wish every auto repair shop in town was on 11th Street. I really do. I wish they were all on 11th Street where I'm at, because that way we'd all be in the same area. And to me, I don't see anything wrong with that. I would love to see the competition, but I don't think people seem to understand in government that competition breeds success. I know that phone's ringing off the wall, and you're probably by yourself down there. They'll call back in a minute, hopefully. But we got about 3 minutes left, Hansson. Anything else you want to talk? There, they'll call back in a couple minutes.
Well, we're doing our big sale again. Buy 3 tires, get the 4th free, as we do every year, which we have for the last 25 years. It's usually a big sale, good deals. Also, a $70 mail-in rebate, which can go on top of that deal for Michelin going on right now. So grab it up while you can. Got tons of tires coming in. Some of the tires, especially because of hunting season and stuff, I'm a little low on, but I've got several big shipments coming in. So give us a call.
Well, that's important. I didn't think about hunting season. The opening day was during Thanksgiving. That was the opening day of regular hunting season. That was a 4-day hunt, and I believe on the 16th of December it opens again all the way till end of February, somewhere in that general area. Anyway, and people need to get some tires on their trucks. They're going to be on the road, they're going to be on the highway, and they're going to be in the woods, so they could probably stand to get some new tires put on their trucks. So they need to give you a call.
And, you know, there are a lot of tread designs out there that are good on the road and off-road. You know, the all-terrain tread designs have become so sophisticated that they give you a good, comfortable ride on the road and give you that extra bit of traction as well. When you have to go into the woods, where it used to be that, you know, this chunky tread design that's really loud when you go down the road.
Not so loud.
They've come up with some really decent tread designs that can give you traction on and off road.
I tell you what, I'd love to be an engineer to be able to come up with those, you know, to put designs together and say, whoop, that don't work. Nope, that don't work. And come up with one that does work.
Some guys, and I've been to the engineering center for both Yokohama and Michelin, and that's all these guys do. They sit around and look at tread designs all day.
Well, they try to make tread designs that cancel each other out. One design makes one frequency, and another one makes another frequency, and that's what I was talking to the engineer, and they try to cancel the sounds out. And I'm going like, wow, that's hard to believe you can do that, but that's how they do it. It's amazing.
That's one of the most important parts that they look at, is to make the tread design so, like you said, all the noises and vibrations cancel each other out.
It's pretty amazing. It really is. Hansson, so if people want to see about buying tires, they can call 873-8900. They can talk to you or Diane, or who else is down there answering the telephones?
Richard answers the telephone every once in a while when he's not too busy.
And of course, you answer the telephone all the time. And you have prices on good, better, and best. And you know, if people want the best tires, you can have the prices on those. If they want just good tires, you have those. But the best thing to do is come down and take a look and see what your car really, really needs, because some people need different tires, even though their car calls for a certain kind of tire. Sometimes, in your opinion, they maybe need a different kind of tire, you know, for their driving habits?
You know, I try to give you my perspective on it. I've got a few years in the business, and I've seen a lot of these tires on people's cars, and I try to always get feedback from them. And, hey, how did that tire ride on your vehicle? Did you like this? Is it making noises? What do you think about it? And people are usually pretty honest with you. Either they go like, man, no, it's okay, or they say, wow, that's the most wonderful tire that I've ever put on.
Good.
And that's the kind of suggestion I like to give back, real life, application of that particular tire on the vehicle.
Sounds great. And if people can come by and visit you at Baytown Tires, 873-8900, right there on the curve in St. Andrews. Y'all been there for over 25 years now, and you got buy 3, get 1 free. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, we'll talk.
December long.
All right. All right, talk to you next week, Hansson. All right, bye-bye, everybody.
James Auto Center, we fix it right.